Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Pigskin Addicts here, back again with another video. So, the Chargers will be traveling down south this weekend to take on the Atlanta Falcons. This is, to me, personally to me, just in my opinion, this is the biggest game of the season. This game has so many implications. There's a lot of storylines going into this game, right? The injury front, we obviously know what that is. Even going away from the injuries, right? The Chargers have not really played a complete game all season long, right? This is the middle of the season now. Officially in the middle of the season, Chargers are coming off a bye week. They have not put together 60 minutes of consistent football. There have been, good flashes. Obviously, there's been a lot of bad flashes as well, too. But the consistency just has not been there for this team. And I think I speak for a lot of fans when I say that is the most disappointing part of this season. The 2022 season, that's the most disappointing part. We know what this team can do, and when they're focused and when they're locked in, not just all 53 players, but when coaching is locked in as well too, this team can be a very, very, very good team, and they can be very dangerous as far as the playoffs go and all of that stuff. But we're not even there yet. We're not talking about any of that. We are going to focus on what's going to happen on Sunday. So this is the biggest game of the season. Again, I will repeat that. Biggest game of the season. A lot hinges on what happens in this game. If the Chargers are able to pull it out, they go to 5-3. And, despite everything looking cloudy and gloom, they're still going to be in an advantageous position for a playoff spot, especially in the AFC with a lot of teams really struggling. Cincinnati came out and they laid an egg on Monday night. So the Chargers would really be in a very, very advantageous position. If they come out and lose and they go 4-4, things down the line are going to look very, very grim, I guess you could say, for the Chargers. But, all of that is going to be determined after 60 minutes of football in Georgia on Sunday. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to get to the tape. I wanted to go over some of the things that I've seen with the Falcons. I've been watching, some of their games, particularly their offense on tape. I will say that this is the most aggressive, the most diverse, and the most run-heavy team that the Chargers will face. They are committed to the run. The Falcons do not go away from the run. That's the one thing that I really picked up off of tape watching them. It doesn't matter if they're up 14 or they're down 14. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to come out in a lot of different formations. They're going to run the ball from all of these formations. They come out in power formations, right? A lot of, extra linemen, multiple tight ends, fullbacks. They come out, they run the ball in that, and then they can come out in a spread formation, right? 2x2s, and they can run the ball out of that as well, too. These guys, they run the football. No matter what, they run the football, and that is what Arthur Smith has brought to Atlanta. I really wasn't sold on him as a head coach, after he got hired, after being the coordinator in Tennessee for a few seasons. But just watching the tape, I really like what I see on film from him. I think the Falcons are a year away from really being competitors in the NFC. I think they have to get better at quarterback. Obviously, I like Marcus Mariota, but I think he is a high-level backup. I don't think that he is a starting quarterback of a playoff team. But from everything that I've seen on tape, these guys, they do not deviate from their identity, which is a running team. They're a heavy running team, and they give you a lot of different looks. And then Marcus Mariota obviously is a guy that can contribute, to the running game as well, too, at the quarterback position. So they are going to be dangerous. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to get into some tape and go over a few plays that I saw that are going to little concepts that I think could give the Chargers some issues. So I wanted to go over that. Now, this first play that you see, the Falcons are lined up in 11 personnel. They got one running back, one tight end, but the tight end is Kyle Pitts, right? This guy is, he is one of the new age tight ends. He's a guy that can get open. He can run all the routes. He plays just like a receiver. So, he kind of is a fourth receiver, but, he is a tight end. So it is 11 personnel, one back, one tight end. But notice the tight end. Notice Kyle Pitts. Notice how he is going in motion, right? He's kind of running that little swing route behind the running back. The Chargers have to focus in on this. This is from another view, the end zone view. You see how you have to be disciplined. Look at 97. He got off of his mark, right? And he was able to hustle back and make a play, but he got off his mark. And, I think the Chargers are going to have to be disciplined with their eyes. This offense that Arthur Smith has built is similar to the Oregon offense when Marcus Mariota was there. There's a lot of, things, a lot of variations that are take place as far as the formations go. The Chargers have to be disciplined with their eyes. Their preparation has to be on point this week. They cannot come out here and just do the same things that they always do, because that's not going to work against this team. They are way too diverse in the run game. The quarterback option is also a very, very huge part of what the Falcons do in their run game. Mariota can pull it down at any time and gain 30 or 40 yards. I've seen it multiple times on tape. What the Falcons do a good job of is they set that up. Normally, when I've seen that on tape, I think I've seen it 3 times on tape. It's all been in the second half where Mariota's doing that, right? They will go and set the run up. They'll have that same look, the option look, and he'll hand it off every time. Come out in the second half, and he keeps one. He turns the corner, and then he gains 20, 25 yards or whatever. The Chargers have to be disciplined with their eyes. They have to be disciplined in their assignments, or else they can get gashed on the ground for very, very big plays. That was the first play that I wanted to point out, and I think, that play really illustrates what the Falcons do very, very well and what they do every single week and how they are. I think that they're number 3 in rushing in the league right now. This is a part of the reason why they are committed to it. They come out in these different formations, and they play with your eyes as a defense. And if you are not locked in on defense, you can give up a very big gain, and these guys can hit you over the head with the running game. So that was the first play that I wanted to point out there. So the second play that I wanted to point out was this play here. This is a very heavy run formation. They're in 21 personnel, so they have 2 backs in, a running back, a fullback, and 1 tight end. And it's Kyle Pitts as well too. But this formation looks different. This is a college formation that you see. You do not see this formation a lot in the NFL, but this is what the Falcons do. They come out and they run this type of stuff. So what you're seeing here is a heavy run front, right, with a strong right. So as you see the play develop here, Mariota keeps it and he's off, right? It's not a huge game, but it's a first down. So that's what the Falcons do. You look at everybody, they got 8 guys in the box. They're reading Brian Burns. He comes down, crashes, Mariota keeps it, and he's got a first down. This is the type of stuff that can and will get you beat if you are not disciplined against the Falcons. This is what they do very, very well, and this is what I wanted to come out and point out. They do this stuff very well, and again, you have to have your eyes in the right place, or else, if you are a defender on the Chargers, you can be the guy giving up the 30, 40-yard gain, right? This is what they do. This is what the Falcons do well. So this is the last play that I wanted to point out here. Again, they come out in sort of it's not a heavy run formation, but it is 11 personnel. 1 back, 1 tight end. Again, Kyle Pitts as well too. He's in there. This could be anything, right? This could be a pass. This could be a run. Notice that Mariota is lined up in the pistol, right? This is what the Falcons do. They are primarily in shotgun or pistol. Again, Arthur Smith has built a somewhat of a college offense, and I think the league is not really able to catch up with it, because the formations look like a college offense, but they are running the ball in power formations, and that's always going to work. It's going to work in college. It's going to work in NFL. It's going to work in 1952. It's going to work in 2022, right? Power run game always going to work. It just depends on how much window dressing you want to put on there, but it will always work. It's always going to work in the league. Always has, always will. So I think the league is having a hard time catching up to this, because a lot of guys, they develop bad habits, and if you don't see offenses like this, you're going to develop some bad habits as far as where your eyes go and where your eyes need to take you, your keys that you need to read as well too. So I think the league is having some trouble catching up. The Chargers do not stop the run well, so again, I feel like this matchup is not a great matchup for the Chargers. So last play here, right? 11 personnel. As the play develops, Mariota snaps the ball, right? Hands off. You see the running back. You see the big lane that the running back had. 30-yard gain. right? This is what the Falcons do. They will wear you down. And notice Kyle Pitts on the end here too. He's a tight end, but look at that block. Look at that block on Brian Burns. That's a great block. Great block. His block took him out of the play. He was not able to make the play. Running back got 30 yards, right? That's good stuff. That's good stuff that the Falcons do. That's what the Falcons do, man. People have to understand this team is not the greatest team ever. Yes, they have a lot of young players. Yes, they have a lot of young talent on their team, and they are not the most seasoned group. But these guys, what they do well is run the ball. Everybody runs the ball. All the receivers block. All the tight ends block. You can't be on the field for the Falcons if you do not block. So all these guys are committed to blocking. The Chargers are going to have a hard time. They're going to have a tough time stopping this. They are. They're just going to have a tough time stopping this. I've already, resigned myself to that fact. So now, as I just pointed out, Marcus Mariota could be a X factor, so to speak, for the Falcons in this game. And I think he can really hurt the Chargers with his legs. He is okay, as far as throwing the ball. He is not the worst quarterback. He's not the worst guy in the pocket. Also far from the best. But, I think he's average as far as his pocket presence, reading defenses and stuff like that. I think he's average. But where he can hurt the Chargers on the ground with his legs. You guys just seen what I showed you. He can really, really hurt the Chargers, especially if they are not disciplined. And that's the thing. They have to come out and be disciplined every single play. You cannot take plays off. If you take plays off or if you do something wrong, if you hit the wrong gap, Mariota could be out. He's fast. He has a lot of speed. If you watch any college football at all, you've seen this guy at Oregon, you know what he can do on the ground. He was special on the ground. That's why he won the Heisman Trophy. Mariota could really be a problem for the Chargers. Adjustments on defense are going to be necessary. There's not optional. All this stuff that Brandon Staley's talking about, want to stick to the game plan and all that stuff, that's not going to be optional. Because if they stick to the game plan and they give up 100 yards rushing in the first quarter and they stick to that same game plan, they're going to give up 300 yards. They're going to give up 3 bills on the ground. The Falcons are going to hit them over the head if they do not adjust. Adjustments are going to be necessary. You cannot face a heavy running team like this with so many formations and not make adjustments. You're going to have to bring more people up in the box. You're going to have to go man-to-man. You're going to have to bring run blitzes. You're going to have to do whatever you can to stop this team. You cannot just come out and play base defense. The Chargers will get ran over all day long, and it will be ugly. It'll be a game that most fans probably wouldn't even finish watching it if they come out and they don't make any adjustments. Adjustments are not optional in this game because you can get embarrassed. You can get embarrassed and you can get really, really, really exposed if you're not making adjustments as a coach, especially on defense. With everything that I showed you, everything that they do well is what the Chargers do not stop well. So they have to make adjustments. Brandon Staley cannot be hard-headed. He cannot be the guy that he is now. Now, do I expect him to be hard-headed? Do I expect him to be egomaniac? Of course I do. I don't expect him to make adjustments. But if he wants to have success and if he doesn't want to get exposed, they're going to have to make adjustments in this game on defense. It's just going to be mandatory because that's just the type of offense. That's just the type of running game that the Falcons have. Now, as far as the running game, right, I covered that. We know what they can do. But they have underrated weapons on the outside as well, too. Marcus Mariota doesn't throw the ball a lot. He doesn't throw the ball like Herbert. He only drops back 25 to 26 times a game, right? As opposed to Herbert dropping back, I think, more than 40 or close to 40 or something like that. The disparity in dropbacks is huge. It's a very, very big disparity. The Falcons don't just drop back and throw the ball. They don't have Joe Lombardi as their offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith is calling plays, and he develops his game plans very, very well. The Falcons have a plan going into games, and they are, they more or less stick to it, right? Unless they get down by a lot, then they have to throw. But they try to stay on schedule, and they try to stay ahead of the chains, and they do a pretty damn good job of it. But the Falcons have weapons. Kyle Pitts is a weapon. Drake London, the rookie from USC, he is a weapon. Number 17, Zacchaeus. He jumps out on tape as well, too. He is explosive. He can get end around and go 30, 40 yards, right? Or he can, run a corner route and, hit the defense over the head for 30 yards. Like, he can do a lot. These guys, they have weapons. They can get open downfield, especially if they are in one-on-ones. They can get open. Drake London is like the light-skinned version of Mike Williams, right? You can throw it up to him. He's got a huge catch radius. He can also win, off the line as well, too. You can't really press him. He's a lot faster and a lot more athletic than he looks. We know what Kyle Pitts is as a tight end. They move him all around. He's a matchup nightmare. I expect Derwin James to match up with him one-on-one, probably at least most of the game. I think that's a good matchup there. But the other guys can really get off. They can get off, and the Chargers, they must respect them. Because if they don't respect them, it can be a very, very different game to where the Falcons are making big plays down the field in the passing game if they don't respect the weaponry that the Falcons have. So they must respect them. They got weapons, and they make plays. They jump out every week on tape. So they must respect them. They definitely must respect them down the field. Now, again, the final point that I want to make in this video, if the Chargers do not stop the run game, this could be a record number of yards given up on the ground by the Chargers. They could easily give up 300 yards plus on the ground in this game. If they do not adjust, if they don't stop the run game, if they don't make an effort to stop the run game, they could easily give up all these yards on the ground. They could easily do it. Easily, without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind, because the Falcons can hit you from different areas of their run game. They have several running backs. They have Marcus Mariota. They have Kyle Pitts. He can run the ball in some of these formations. They have, jet sweeps. All of the receivers can run the ball in different formations. Everybody chips in the run game. So it's not just one bell cow who's going to hit you over the head. There's different guys who have different running styles. They just come out with so many different formations. This is going to be a tough task. Again, this is the most important game of the season so far. If the Chargers can pull this out, they are looking good on the other side. If not, and if they lose this game, and just depending on how they lose this game, if they're giving up a bunch of rushing yards, I don't want to say that the season is over, but I mean, you can pretty much chalk it up at that point. If the Falcons go for over 200 and something yards on the ground, you can pretty much chalk it up as this season being a wash, right? Things will not go well after that. It doesn't matter who's coming back. If you can't stop the run, and if you know what team is going to run, and the Falcons have put that on tape all season long, there's no surprises coming into this game. The Chargers know what they do. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. 2 weeks. Brandon Staley has had 2 weeks to prepare. He has not been good off of buys. He has not been good off of the long layoffs, the Thursday night games and stuff. He has not been good. Again, I am not expecting a lot from Brandon Staley, but this could really things can unravel for the Chargers if they don't make adjustments. We're at that point now. If they don't make adjustments, things can go bad. And again, this could be a record number of rushing yards that the Chargers give up if they are not committed to stopping the run for all 4 quarters, all 60 minutes. The Falcons are going to run the ball. They run the ball. There have been, I've watched tape 4 or 5 games, I want to say. They have ran the ball on every single down in multiple games. First down, second down, third down, and when they go for it on fourth down, they run the ball too. They are going to run the ball. They're not going to go away from it. If the Chargers come out and they stop the Falcons right in the first quarter, they stop them, or maybe they throw them for a loss of 2 here, a loss of 3 here. They stop them for a gain of 1 yard here. They're not going to go away from that. They don't let that, affect their thinking. Arthur Smith doesn't care. He's still going to run the ball. He's still going to run the ball at you. You can stop them for a gain of 2 yards, but they're going to get it back, and they're probably going to hit you for another 15 in a few plays. They are aggressive as hell when it comes to running the ball. They're linemen. They get off the ball. They get hat on the hat. They're aggressive. They love to finish runs. If you watch a lot of the tape, their linemen are down the field finishing runs, finishing linebackers, finishing defensive ends. They are down the field finishing, being aggressive. This team has a very physical, aggressive mindset. They are not sissy at all. They will come at you. And this is what the Chargers have to deal with. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. There's no excuses. Absolutely no excuses for this. So I just wanted to come on here. I just wanted to make this video. I just wanted to be clear about what the Chargers need to do. Right? It's very simple. They must stop the run. If they stop the run, they have a very, very, very good chance to win. If they don't stop the run, they have a very, 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 very great chance to lose this game. Very, very simple here. This is what it boils down to. Brandon Staley, defensive genius. We've heard it all. If he cannot stop this team, who we know is going to run the ball, then it might as well just be a wash for the season. That's where I'm at with this. So just wanted to come on here, kind of go over some of the film, some of the stuff that I've seen. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing a little bit of the offense as well too. So Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys. All the comments, all the likes, everything, you know, all the engagement is really good. The channel's growing. I'm having a lot of fun, so thank you guys for all the support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit that like button on the way out as well too. I'm gonna get that right one of these days, without any errors. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support, and until next time.